Welcome to the Personal Tanya, day 41. Today is the third day of Shabbat. We're talking today, in today's message of the Tanya, about the theme of hide and seek when it comes to finding our inner consciousness. You see, we've learned so far in the Tanya that there's an epic battle raging within us. It's the battle between the godly soul and the animal soul. This battle between each and every one of us is not a battle between good and bad. It's a battle between selfish, which is the desire of the natural soul, the animal soul, and selfless, which is the desire of the godly soul. It's self-centered versus mission-oriented. The question is, which one of those souls is more dominant? We mentioned earlier that the godly soul is a powerful love for God, but that love is hidden. And the reason the Alter Rebbe explains today why that love is hidden is because of the way that we were created. Remember, we learned in chapter 1 of Tanya that our natural souls come from a place called Klippa, which is the superficial energy of godliness. What that means on a very practical level is that we are superficial by our design. Whether we like it or not, we come from a superficial level of godliness, and therefore we are impressed by external perceptions of things. We are impressed by what we see far more than what actually is. As human beings, we're far more likely to go for the food which is tasty than to avoid that same food because it's not healthy. If it looks good, it's going to be far more compelling than its actual health rating. Because as human beings, we're impressed and far more moved by what we see than by anything else. And that's what the Alter Rebbe tells us in today's Tanya. It says that our godly soul is hidden inside of our animal soul, where what's dominant is our bodies. That's what you see. You see the body where the godly soul is, and its love, its natural love for God, is hidden under the mask of the body and the animal soul. And therefore, we're deeply impressed far more by what we see, which is the body and the natural soul, the animal soul, far more impressed by the body than we are by the godly soul. And that's the reason why the love of our godly soul is a hidden love. The big question in our lives is whether we can see beyond what meets the eye. What the Alter Rebbe is going to do in the next few chapters of the Tanya is to orient us to this love and allow us to experience it even when we can't actually see it. This is an amazing expose. In fact, the very first word of the Torah is Bereshis, which means in the beginning. The word Bereshis can also be read as two words, Barashis, which means created a mask, created a veil. In the very opening word of the entire Torah, God is telling us that life is about a game of hide and seek. I am hiding the goods, and you need to be able to find the light with your heart when all your eyes can see is darkness. Now, admittedly, this hidden love is awoken from its slumber, is revealed from its state of concealment through certain existential circumstances. And those are circumstances that threaten its connection to God explicitly. So, for example, when we're facing a life or death situation and we're forced to choose between denying our connection to God explicitly or not, it's then that hidden love will come to be revealed with all of its power and all of its passion. We'll talk about that more in the next few chapters of Tanya. But barring such an explicit existential circumstance, the hidden love of the godly soul is fast asleep. And that's the reason why a Jew is capable of sinning, where he's effectively violating his life source, his connection to God without even realizing it. This is the theme that we'll be developing over the next few chapters. The big question is, if this love is hidden, then what role does it actually serve? That is the theme of tomorrow's chapter of Tanya. But for today, that's a wrap. Let's try to apply. You can do this.